Those that are in the pews might want to push in a little bit. There's a lot of people standing today. And of course, next week we'll be having Palm Sunday, and there'll be a lot of people that come to Mass also. So you might want to remember that. And also the next week is Easter. And if we go like last year, we'll probably have 7,000 people that show up for Easter. So we also have a lot of big crowds there too. So you might want to push in a little bit so that all the people that are standing will be able to get a seat. The Gospels on the other Sundays of Lent were all from Luke's Gospel. Today, on this fifth Sunday of Lent, we have readings from John's Gospel. The Sunday readings remind us of God's readiness to forgive sin and to restore us into his friendship. Today's readings challenge us to show the same mercy to those around us and to live as forgiven people seeking reconciliation. We can't stand self-righteousness and condemning the lives of others when God calls us to be merciful and to have a conversion of life during our Lenten season. First reading from Isaiah alludes to the Exodus and the crossing of the Red Sea and the waters from the rock and from our baptism, which we'll be emphasizing more and more as Easter comes. Reminding of our own liberation from the slavery of sin through the waters of baptism. Reminding us that God says he will make all things new. And that's what our OCIA people are going to be doing when they come into our church, making all things new, and especially all the baptisms that we'll be doing at the Easter Vigil. Our second reading, Paul presents himself as a forgiven sinner who had been completely transformed by his faith in Jesus Christ. Paul loved Jesus so much that he wanted to share in his suffering and his death so that he may share Christ's resurrection. And that's why it says today, I count everything as loss except for knowing Jesus Christ. Today's gospel shows the mercy and compassion also of Jesus to sinners. The center of this gospel is not about the woman and her sin of adultery, but about her personal encounter with Jesus and how her life had changed. Encountering with Jesus always exposes the truth about ourselves, just like the crowd learned the truth about their own sins, who wanted an answer from Jesus to stone her or not. Either answer that Jesus would have given to that question would have been wrong and against the Jewish law and the Roman laws. Jesus tells a woman to sin no more. A lot of times we have problems in forgiving other people because sometimes maybe we think that they didn't deserve to be forgiven. But of course, Jesus forgives us when we come to be able to go to the sacrament of reconciliation, just like he forgave the woman today and tells her to go and not sin anymore. God doesn't condemn us, but can liberate us and release us from the captivity of sin, causing us to come back to God. You can also think of last Sunday's gospel, which talked about the prodigal son and the father who forgave his son and welcomed him back. Hopefully our encounter with Jesus this Lent has been one that we could grow closer to Jesus. Can we say, as Paul did, the greatest gain is to know Jesus and place him above all. As we continue on this fifth week of Lent, with Palm Sunday next weekend, let us, like Paul, strive to grow closer to Jesus in all that we do and say. For as Jesus forgives us, so we are to forgive others, as we are always reminded in the Our Father. Let us this week think of the ways that we can show mercy for others, perhaps for some that we haven't been able to in the past, forgiving them for what they may have done for us, and not holding grudges.